This is Peace from Aloe and Bamboo. So it's not a traditional fall scent, even though we're going to talk about fall today. So thank you so much to those of you who watched my previous video about curating my fall wardrobe. Now, in that video, I talked about part 1, my step 2 or my framework to curating my wardrobe for the fall. So inspiration is number 1. My first inspiration was the Max Mara Fall Winter 2025 Runway Collection. And so if you haven't checked that out after this video, make sure you go check that out. But in the meantime, my second inspiration that I'm going to share with you guys for this season, the Michael Kors collection was so good for Fall Winter 2025. It was amazing. And so similar to the Max Mara, I go through the same process. I see what the creator was thinking, the creative director was thinking, which is Michael Kors himself. I look at what his inspiration was, how he describes his collection, and so we're gonna do that today. So Fall Winter 2025 is dégagé chic. It's the hands in the pocket ease, opulent simplicity, timeless neoclassic, relaxed glamour, cozy modernism, soft tailoring, movement, fractional layering, asymmetry, laid-back elegance, dressing for yourself. These are all the ways he describes his collection. These are really just phrases. Dégagé chic, hands in the pocket ease, opulent simplicity. So just describing essentially what the woman who will dress like the Michael Kors Fall Winter collection, how their adjectives, what you can be looking for. Let me show you what dégagé is. It's a French word. Dégagé is unconcerned, unconstrained, relaxed. So this unconcerned, like relaxed way of being chic. So dégagé means essentially being effortlessly chic. It's this like nonchalance that you have. You know, I think we've seen it. I think we've all seen it. Where have you ever seen a woman that is immaculately dressed, but she's so simple and she's put together, but it looks so effortless, like she didn't try, and you don't know how she does it, but she some kind of way always seems to look just like I just threw this whole thing on. I think we all know her. Some of you might be her. But that's who I'm trying to be this fall winter season. Looking at the Vogue runway, and this is how they're describing it. This is an article by Nicole Phelps. But she says the mood board in his showroom, this is what Michael Kors is inspired by, is pictures of Zoe Kravitz ducking from the paparazzi in a slouched on coat. 90s era Sharon Stone. Sharon Stone, who can forget her wearing her husband's shirt, white button down shirt and an immaculate skirt. That look was effortless but chic. And Glenn Close, the lapping in silk pajamas with the fur tucked into the crook of her arm. Mannish blazer and chinos. So this is his inspiration. These are some of the women that he's inspired by for this. So he says, the hands are jammed in the pockets, the coat is flung. It does have that dégagé feeling, as only the French could coin. But it's what we invented. And I mean, everyone's forgotten. This is New York. Why would you chase Europe? I don't even mean the runways. I mean the streets. Everywhere you go in the world, people want a sense of ease. And so he's basically saying that as Americans have basically done ease. If you think about it, I don't think I completely disagree, because Americans have an overall vibe or feel of being casual. So from my personal style, I would say too overly casual, but that's just my personal opinion. And these, again, are generalizations, but a lot of Americans love wearing jeans. And I'm not really into jeans like that, but I'm also more of, even though I live in 2025, I'm definitely someone who appreciates a lot of the dressing that women did in the 1950s. So that's more my style. But this whole idea of being chic, effortless, and nonchalant, he's saying that as Americans, especially New Yorkers, that's something that they coined. I mean, I don't know. You be the judge. Let me know. Comment down below. What do you think? Look, this is a leather oversized trench coat. I love trench coats. Trench coats for me go beyond just the khaki classic trench coat that we know that Burberry is known for and that other people roll out every fall and spring season. I am someone who loves trench coats. Trench coats, I would say, are my #1 style of coat. And I have a trench coat in every season. And the funny thing is, one of my friends said to me, "You always have a trench coat." I like some sort of outerwear. Even in the spring and summer, I have, well, then the trench coat is linen or it's silk. But there's gotta be some sort of outer layer. So this oversized leather trench coat, and I love the belt detail at the top. So it's a belt buckle, yes, at the waist, but if you can see, there's one also at the top. I love that. You have the epaulets, the buttons, the classic trench style. Love this. Love it. I know it's gonna be an arm and a leg, but it's fabulous. A trench coat never goes out of style, especially a black trench coat. Like, come on. So this next look, this is look 19. I love a sweater dress. I love gray. Gray is one of my favorite neutrals. Browns, camels, those are really my favorite neutrals. But if I'm gonna do another neutral, it would be a gray, not a black. So this gray sweater dress, the layering. I like the sweater dress, turtleneck sweater dress with this coat. The coat it looks like it's a little bit shorter than the sweater dress. Black boots. And I've noticed that these necklaces, I've been seeing them a lot. I don't particularly like this style of necklace, but I like the element of that jewelry. And we have this, I don't know if this is a shaggy, I would assume it's a shawl, but I love this look. So cute. Now, 21, look 21. Again, turtleneck. This looks like a lavender grayish misty kind of color. I love the turtleneck. Love the shaggy purple coat. Fur, I just love it. Whether it be fur or faux fur, either one. Now look 27. I like this. I just talked about how camels is really like my ideal neutral. This look, when I saw it, this is an oversized. I like the collar on the coat. We have a leather belt for contrast. This is probably like wool alpaca. And then we have a leather belt. And this looks like it could be just like a throw that you have on your sofa. But of course it's not a throw. This is clearly a shawl. But I love this look. A nice neutral, monochromatic, effortless glam. Now look 29. What I really like about this look is the hat, the shaggy hat. Sometimes, I don't know about you, but sometimes in the fall and winter, we forget about how a hat, even though it is functional, can also be stylish. So finding a couple of hats that are stylish but still functional is something that I'm going to incorporate in my wardrobe. Now look 30. I love a shirt dress. I did a video previously about a shirt dress and like shirt dresses, how to style them, how to buy them, or where to buy them. But this look, again, this shirt dress, I like this element. I don't know what the material is, but it looks like probably like a chiffon. And again, I like that there is a belt at the top where you see those strings. It's almost like a belt, but they're not tied. Leather gloves, long leather gloves. We saw this also with the Max Mara collection. And just the whole outfit. I love this monochromatic look. Now, look 31. I love this. Again, we have a shaggy fur. I love how it's like the coat is a turtleneck in itself. Leather gloves, a pleated skirt. I mean, skirts. I love dresses. That's my favorite clothing item. I would say behind that would be a skirt. And I love this pleated skirt. Again, I like the different textures, the different colors. Even though they're all brown, they're different shades of brown. So that's a way to make a look have some depth and character. Now, 34 and 36. Again, with the camel, you can see a theme. I told you. This faux fur vest, or maybe it's real fur. I shouldn't say faux fur. My bad, Michael. I'm sorry. But for me, more than likely, it's going to be a faux fur vest with this belt. So I have a navy faux fur vest that I just have not, that I just wear out, like open, and it's longer than this. But I could definitely create a similar look. I don't have a belt, but I could add a belt. Again, love this, the layering. 40 and 42. This look in 40 is so... This look kind of reminds me of a more feminine, elevated Andy Sachs look from The Devil Wears Prada. So I'm going to pop up the Andy Sachs look that I'm talking about from The Devil Wears Prada. This leather, this oversized leather moto jacket, gray turtleneck. We have the asymmetrical wool gray skirt with the brown boots. I love this look. And this look is simple. It's a look that we all can achieve and can be achieved at different price points. We just have to get the proportions correct. But it reminds me of kind of that Andy Sachs look. Something similar, but this is the more elevated feminine version, I would say. Not that her look looks masculine, but more elevated feminine with the skirt. Love this look. 2, again, we have the shaggy coat and a skirt. This skirt looks so sumptuous. I like this. This is not something that you would typically see, this particular color. You know, a lot of times you would see a darker color. That's what people typically lean into, are darker colors. But I do like the idea of sometimes wearing a lighter color in the fall and winter season. We don't always have to wear darker colors. So if you're someone who likes some pastels, why don't you bring pastels to the fall and winter if you can find items that are that colorway? Because that's part of personal style, bringing in the colors, the textures, the silhouettes that you like. The takeaways. These are the elements from this show that I can incorporate into my wardrobe as inspiration. So first and foremost, as I already mentioned, hats. There were a couple of shaggy hats on the runway. Now that doesn't mean I have to wear a shaggy hat, but just making sure that I remember that a hat can be for looks as well as functionality. And that's the perfect balance when you have an item that is functional while also stylish. I mean, to me, that's how you do it. Why would you not have function without style, style without function? The element is the monochromatic dressing. So we saw a lot of monochromatic dressing, all the camel outfits, which are some of my faves. We saw a lot of great outfits, even that mint green, that mint green look. I really do like that mint green look. We saw a lot of furs, fur vests, oversized shaggy furs. Now of course that's more into late fall, winter season, winter time, when we'll start incorporating that. But it's still good to start thinking about now. Layering and mixed textures. That was something that we saw. Well, that's one of the things we all love about fall winter, is the textures, the layering. And so we saw a lot of that in the look. So these are just some things to think about. If you haven't watched my first part 1 of curating your fall winter wardrobe, then watch that video. But in the meantime, the next couple of videos you can expect from me now is me implementing what I said I would try to implement, what I take away from my inspirations. So the next couple of videos will be me styling what I already have in my wardrobe, finding the wardrobe gaps for this fall and winter season, and then deciding whether I'm gonna fill them or what am I just gonna do with what I have. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much, and I will see you stylists later.